Welcome back, everybody, to our live election coverage. Polls have closed in a few eastern states and several others. Time to look at those early results that I currently have. And Obama has taken a multiple Northeast lead, including Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Delaware, and the District of Columbia. And he now has 61 Electoral College votes. Romney with 56. And those states that were reported earlier include Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia, and we will get a lot more of those returns later in the program. But now we do have a couple of reporters here at some parties on campus, one Republican and one Democrat. And we're going to go first to our Lizzie Widowich here at the Robert Morris Republican Party here on campus.
Lizzie Widowich reporting from the Nicholson Center, where preparations are currently underway for the College Republican Watch Party. I'm going to be heading down to the Sewell Center at the College Republican Watch Party a little bit later tonight. I'm going to be there interviewing students and finding their perspectives on what they have to say about this election and what made them decide to get involved in the election. I'm also going to be asking them some of the hot-button issues surrounding this campaign, such as gay rights and abortion. I will be in the Sewell Center at the College Republican Watch Party all night, where fun and anticipation are surely expected. Again, this is Lizzie Widowich reporting from the Nicholson Center.
All right, and we just want to say thank you to Lizzie for that great report from the Republican Party on campus. And now we're going to go to another one of our reporters out at the Democratic Party, Dan Kitchen. We'll see what he has for us.
Reporting live from the lower lobby of Salem, college Democrats are slowly filing into their watch party. Different in many ways, they all carry the same mood of anticipation for tonight. They're confident that their candidate, Barack Obama, will win and remain in office for another term. We'll be keeping you updated live tonight with opinions, analysis, and reactions to the states being won or lost by candidate Obama. I'm Dan Kitchen, reporting live.
Thank you so much, Dan, for your report at the Democratic Party. Now, the interview that you did tease earlier, we do have Chauncey Alexander in studio to talk about the Black Student Union and what they're doing for election coverage. Haley, over to you guys.
Thank you, John. I am here with Chauncey Alexander, VP of the Black Student Union. Now tell me, Chauncey, what are some of the things that the Black Student Union does?
Well, the Black Student Union is a club on campus that is created by the African American and Black students on campus, but it's not just for the African American and Black students on campus. It's for everyone. We try to host events like Friday. We're having our annual pajama party that's open to everyone in the Pittsburgh area. We do some service projects. We do some different scholarship events like study parties and things like that. So we try to get out to do a little bit of everything with everyone.
And tonight, like we said, you have your election party going on. What are some of the things going on there?
Well, we had a discussion about the election. Every week, actually, during our meetings, we've had a discussion about the election leading up to the election. And today, we were just sitting in the Hopwood Hall on the big screen watching electoral coverage on the live news feed for RMU-TV and CNN, as well as looking at the electoral map and, you know, just seeing where the different states are coming in and things like that.
So you mentioned that you had some discussions at your meetings. What were some of those discussions about?
Well, we didn't really talk about who we were voting for, but we did talk about the issues, different things that we thought the president, whoever does become president, should do if they were to become president, and things that we wanted to see change in America since we're young voters and it was some of our first times voting. And we talked about that a little bit, how some of us would go out for the first time and it was really exciting. One of our meetings, actually, it came up a lot. It wasn't actually, it was more like an impromptu thing. We weren't really talking about the election, but it came up that someone had a question about where to go and vote. So we started doing like a registration campaign type thing.
And you went out to vote today, I'm
I
assuming?
Yes.
What was it like there? What was the kind of turnout that you saw?
It was early in the morning, so there wasn't a lot of people. You figured a lot of people were at work. It was like 12 o'clock, maybe 12:30. So people were at work or on a lunch break, something like that. Like they couldn't get off work. It was at Moon High School. I was excited because it was my first time voting. But there was a lot of older people there who had done this like a billion times before. So since it was my first time, I was kind of nervous. I didn't know really what to do. But when I got up there, they were like really helpful and they showed me how the machine actually works. And I was so excited. I sat there for like 10 minutes and like played with my ballot. I'm like, okay, I want this person and that person and that person. So it was exciting.
Oh, you mentioned earlier in your answer, I mean, that some people had to leave work to go and vote.
Yeah.
Would you say that's an issue throughout the country, that people have to schedule around their jobs?
Well, even for me, I think so, because it was like 12:30 when I went, and I have class at 1:45. So I was like, I might not be back in time for class, and then I had to come to my internship at 3. So I was like, when am I gonna get to go vote? So I did like Monday, I'm like planning my schedule, like, okay, so I know I have to go vote sometime on Tuesday, so let me decide when, and I'm like drawing out a whole schedule. So I would say it's an issue, especially for people who have like salary paying jobs. Like you can't just leave your job when you feel like it. However, the polls do close at like 8, so I feel like, you know, people get off work like 5. You can go right after you get off work. So for some people, it might be a really big issue. For some people, it's not. It just depends on your schedule.
Okay, well, thank you for spending some time with us here at RMU TV. And now we're going to head back over to the desk.
Thank you, Haley and Chauncey, for that update. And we do have an update on the returns. What we just reiterated from earlier, Obama was 61 and Mitt Romney with 56. Now, real quick, before we go to a commercial break, you were talking about Pennsylvania being one of those very key states. Also, you have Ohio, Virginia, and Florida, who are also going to really determine this election, especially on the East Coast. Like, again, we already have Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, some of the smaller electoral college states. But again, those 4 that I mentioned, outrageous numbers that could really determine either way the election goes. Swing states, if you will.
Yeah, like you mentioned, these swing states are responsible for a good percentage of the electoral votes. So after the break, we'll come back and talk a little bit more about those, because some of these states weren't originally predicted to be up in the air or battleground states, but it turns out that they have been.